Hey Scorpio, welcome to the flowering. Thank you for clicking on this video and choosing this channel for your January insights. Real quick, take a minute to subscribe so that you can keep up with us. Like, comment, and share throughout the video. So, the power of perception. It's a normal conversation that we've been having a lot, right? How you see things is how they manifest in your environment, right? And it's almost as if your perceptions have the tendency to form a body of their own, right? Like the outward manifestations of your perceptions, the physical manifestations, right? There's a body that's created, a self, an environment that's created. And this body walks around with you all day, every day, bound to you. And there's this concept, you know, that we all are speaking about, we're all learning, of letting go, of releasing, of moving out of outmoded thinking and behavior, right? However, sometimes this body, we've become so invested in this thing that we've created that it's often difficult to walk away. It's often difficult to let it go. And this is whether it's a good thing or a bad thing in your, you know, in your situation. Either way, it's quite difficult to, one, acknowledge that our perception has been skewed, and then two, accept the altering that's taking place. You know, they talk about dying to self. Well, this dying and killing off the old self is really symbolic. It's symbolic of releasing your connection to that old story or those old perceptions and the body and circumstances that were built from them. You get a chance to release them. And we all have this choice every day, right? Whether we will carry yesterday's perception or whether we're going to be present in today. And then our environment responds to whatever our choice is. Right? Which body am I going to inhabit today? Which mindset will I carry? It can be painful, you know? I don't care what it is that has been built up in your psyche and your mind. It's as if once it's built and you've attached to it, you know, you kind of become one with it. Hello, hello, hello. How are you today? Thank you for being in. How are things going? So, yeah, it's like there was lots of investment, emotional, mental investment, you know, in this body that we've built. You know, why are we sad? You know, why are we sad today? Do we have just reason to be sad? Or is this feeling or emotion a manifestation of some perception that we hold about what it means to be happy? Our emotions are simply an outward expression of what our heart and mind, it's an expression of what we believe to be true. You know, it tells the way we react, the way we express our emotion, the way we feel certain things. It's an expression of what we expect. It's our, you know, what I was saying was before it cut off was the feelings, the emotions are based on a perception that we hold based on old experiences, or based on a perception itself this body that was made up of perceptions. So if life is not going good, what does a good life look like for you? What does a good life look like for you? Now, I can tell you that like when we spoke in email, you know, you're over focused on this. You're over focused on this partner. Your focus should be inward. Okay. Your focus should be on why you feel sad because there's no one else there. That's a valid question. And it's a valid assessment to make. You know, the internal world needs attention. Your internal world needs attention. Right? What do you want from a marriage? What do you perceive a happy lifestyle to be? A happy marriage, a happy relationship to be? So, family, love, so your perception of family and love, these are things that you have to address before a person shows up, okay? Is your perception based on, who determines whether these partners are fitting or not? Is it your body, or is it this body of perceptions that have been built? By yourself, by your parents, by your beliefs. It's tricky when it's not tricky, but it can be when it comes to love. There's so many matters, so many facets of the self that need to be analyzed. And I understand in a system where arranged marriage is a thing. So you want to start your future. Your future is now. Your future begins right now in this very moment. Your future does not begin when someone comes in. That's a perception. No. Everyone desires to have a mate, but not everyone needs to have a mate to set off on their path. This is something that we're meant to do. We're meant to set off on our path and live our lives. And so, as we discussed in the email reading, until you begin your own cultivation of your own passions, your own gifts, until you've begun to walk your own path, you will be sitting, waiting for whatever it is that you believe you're waiting for. All right. So, Scorpio, I hope you caught all of that. And if it resonated with you, then great. I'm going to move on. What meditation do we want to present to Scorpio today? Unconditional love. Accept yourself totally and completely for one full day and see what happens. As you are, with no one else involved, with your own thoughts, with your own behaviors, accept all of it with unconditional love for one day and see what happens. The love I give is the love I receive. As I love and accept myself exactly as I am right here and right now with all my so-called flaws and embarrassing parts, I find it easier to accept you in the same way. When I put conditions on my love for myself or others, then I'm not loving freely. I will love you if is not love. It is control. So I learned to release the need to control others and allow them the freedom to be who they are. I see us all struggling on our pathways, learning to create peace inside of ourselves, doing the best we can with the understanding, knowledge, and awareness we have at the time. As more of us open our consciousness to work on the level of unconditional love, we will tap into the new level of spiritual power that is here for us. I see a blanket of benevolence covering the planet and helping us transform our consciousness from fear to love. Rika, I hope you received that message. Unconditional love means that there should not be any dis-ease, discomfort. You should be able to accept your circumstance as it is. And until that happens, what you desire will not make its way to you, okay? Unconditional love and acceptance of self, of others, of what is right now in this very moment is what brings us our desires, okay? And so that means that right now in this moment, you know that you desire to have a partner. Well, show gratitude for what you currently have. I currently have parents who care for me and love me and want me to have the most suitable partner. I care, I accept and I accept and I'm grateful for the fact that I am a good partner to others, that I know that I can be a good partner to others. These are things that we have to address in self. Come to love, come to accept that I'm single right now and that I have so many options about me, around me, not only in love, but in career, in development, in growth, in friendships, in opportunities. These are the things that help us to get to where we want. It helps us to draw in the things that we desire. And a lot of this is based on perceptions. If there's a lack of unconditional love and acceptance for your current circumstance, for yourself, for others, what perceptions are painting you or painting your existence in a less than pleasurable manner, you know? I'm sad because I don't have a partner. Well, that's not acceptance of current circumstance. Your emotions shouldn't be based on the presence of another person or the absence of another person, the absence of a relationship. This is where we talk about emotional maturity, emotional intelligence, you know? Can I be okay? Can I be content where I am? Perception. Perception. I'll just keep saying that. Perception. So I can only give you the advice and guidance that I know to give, that I receive to give. And one has to accept it and apply it in order to see change in their environment, in their circumstance. See, I can't change a perception. However, you can change your own perception. Scorpio. What perceptions are painting your current reality? What perceptions are painting your outlook for the future? What perceptions are keeping you tied to old storylines, old tapes, like the Virgo reading pointed out? How are you showing up, Scorpio? In the month of January. How is Scorpio showing up in the month of January? Ooh, Six of Cups. Page of Swords. And Two of Cups. Ooh. I feel like, Scorpio, you are in a place where you are seeing the truth of a past commitment, connection. And it's as if, although you're attempting to move forward, it's like there's some sense of nostalgia that have been keeping you looking back, replaying, you know. I say nostalgia because, you know, there's memories here. Some of you may be even just coming to terms with accepting the truth of, a past connection. I feel that some of you are shifting focus. When not shifting focus, but even perception, you know, shifting your perspective when it comes to connections, romantic connections, business connections, just the way you connect in general with people, with money, with spirit. I feel like you're becoming aware of something that has been a barrier. You're uncovering a truth of something. And it feels as if you even it feels as even there's a sense of optimism that has returned about a situation. I think that the Page of Swords is saying that, you know, these things, these feelings, these emotions, these truths about this are coming to your awareness, and you are owning them. You're integrating these acknowledgments. Yeah. These epiphanies. You're understanding that your perception may have been skewed at one point, causing certain things. Like, you're reviewing. That's what it is. It's like you're reviewing how your perception has affected you, not only in relationships, but just in general. And because you've now come to this awareness and almost integrated the lesson of it, You have this optimism, basically, that your happiest days are not behind you, that they are in front of you, right? Both of these cards with mental activity here, you know, the Six of Cups and the Page of Swords, you know, some perceptions that you had about, you know, about things of the past, the way things turned out, you know. For me, this is, you know, even if we've dealt with abuse, if we dealt with deceit, if we've dealt with family issues, things like that, you know, the perception that most people carry is that, oh, my life is hard, my life is bad, things don't work out for me, you know. And the reality of it is that you had that one experience, and then you allowed it to create this body of perceptions for you. And this body of perception stands between you and your fulfillment. Emotional, monetary, creative, you know. Yeah. So it's like you're realizing that the sun, you are the sun, that you are whatever it is that you thought made you up. You know, like you're looking back to the past as if that is what made you who you are. It didn't make you who you are. It brought circumstances to you so that you could see who you are, right? And so now as you integrate and balance all of these things within you, these energies, these beliefs, these concepts, as you balance them out and let everything have their respective place without attachment, then you find yourself able to better relate, able to better connect. And then you see things begin to bud for you. You know, things just begin to even like fall into place, fall into order, per se. You feel, you know, fulfilled again, with or without whatever it is that you thought you needed outside of you. That's the goal anyway, right? So I feel like, you know, for Scorpio, even towards the end of December and moving into January, you were becoming more content, at peace with the nature of things in your life. You know, it's like you know, you are not replaying, you're not repeating cycles of the past where you were going into things and giving more of yourself or taking more than you were giving. There's a sense of balance that's returning. I also get the feeling that you could be anticipating some type of partnership, whether in business. You know, you could be anticipating a partnership from the past, you know, an opportunity that hadn't presented itself. Perhaps you missed it, or perhaps you had some perception that was, you know, fears even, you know, that were there that wouldn't allow you to confidently move forward. And this could be, I get the feeling that there's, for some, this is definitely in romance, but others, this is opportunities that were coming to you, opportunities to collaborate. And whatever fears or anxieties you had about whatever, people stealing ideas, or your safety, or, you know, what it meant, what was expected for you in this connection. So you're addressing this. These things have come to your awareness, or will be coming to your awareness in January, so that you can finally integrate and balance them. How are other people seeing you? Eight of Wands, the Seven of Coins, and the Four of Swords. Okay, you know, other people are seeing your creative insights, and they're seeing how, you know, you are expressing, they're seeing how you're expressing through creativity the burdens that you've carried, the loads that you've carried. And it's almost as if you have a renewed sense. It's a renewed perspective, right? I guess I'm gonna say that word a million times in this reading, but the words that you're speaking, the actions that you're taking, you know, they're inspired, and people see that you are inspired by your experiences in a more positive manner than before. It's as if you have found more value in these things, and people are seeing that and they find themselves inspired by you. You're creating an atmosphere where, as you share, as you communicate, as you offload these things in this creative manner, people are able to see it and integrate the message or accept the message in a better way. It feels like you're really affecting people in their perceptions. So you expressing how your perceptions have affected you and your path is allowing other people to analyze their own situation, how they've been manipulated or how they've self-sabotaged with outmoded thought, with clinging to storylines that no longer have any significance. I get this feeling of they see that your path is widening and you're focused on the path as it widens, except for the narrow path that you used to look back on. They see you as brave, as courageous. I also feel like, I already said this, but they feel like you are incredibly insightful, and that whatever perspective or whatever viewpoint that you speak from or create from, it's easily accepted by the people who look to you for encouragement or support. And even if they don't look to you for it, they still see it, and they can't ignore that something is taking place within you, that there's something coming to better balance within you, that you're offloading something that's kind of burdened you for some time. And for some of you, like myself, this could be via writing, So the way you communicate has changed. I feel like some haughtiness or haughtiness is the word I want to use, has fallen aside, and you're able to kind of like put out more pure, spirit-inspired messages regarding your path. And like I say, it inspires other people on theirs. This has a lot to do with where we find fulfillment. What makes us happy? What makes us think that, or what fulfills us? What brings us happiness? What brings us joy? And for a lot of people, for a lot of Scorpios, this is something that you've been assessing. People see you moving out of such a self-reflective chapter. I feel like there was a chapter of being super critical, just super deep and just critical of self, of different processes, of different people. And I feel like you're moving out of that, and it's showing itself in the way that you're communicating, in the way that you're expressing. You're planting seeds of inspiration, of enlightenment. Let's look at work and finance. Wow. Okay. So in work and finance, you have the 3 of Wands, the Ace of Coins, and the 10 of Coins. So I always love it when I see the cards go from Ace to 10 or Ace to King, And this means that rapidly, there's something coming in. There's some opportunity, some assistance monetarily, even like a promotion or a job offer that comes in and really takes your dreams, your aspirations to, I want to just say it, to money making. It's like, at one point it's the healing. It's just for healing, and then you find yourself a little more inspired. So it moves away from personal healing to sharing your story with others. And then from there, it jumps all the way to everything that you have been anticipating, everything that you have been hoping for flowing into you. And I feel rapidly, there's definitely a sense of stability here that's coming in. I do feel as if this could be related to family, ancestral, because I feel as if that when, like this hand sometimes kind of paired here, it means that Someone who's passed along maybe has left you something, so inheritance. And finally, it's coming into you. And I get the feeling that this is because of your new state of mind, that this is coming in. Now that you are facing forward, now that you are moving forward, now that you have a more positive outlook on life and your journey, then this opportunity is able to make its way to you. Because remember, that body of perceptions that was previously blocking is no longer blocking. Yeah, it's no longer blocking. Well, that was enough. So what about romance? Love and romance. Romantic connections. I'm pouring some tea, y'all. Let me get this. Turmeric and ginger this morning. Along with my hibiscus infused water. Getting that ready for you guys, perfecting that recipe so that you guys can have some. I like to use it almost like as an elixir, feminine energy, divination. And it's funny because today I sweetened it with honey, and since I've started drinking it, I've been sweetening it with a coconut palm syrup, simple syrup that I made. Today it has a whole different vibe, okay? It's just carrying a whole different energy. So yeah, let's talk about romance for Scorpio. Four of Wands, the Hanged Man, Seven of the Chariot. Because you've accepted this higher perspective, a chapter is closing. You know, you got 12 and 7, which goes to 19, which is 10, right? Can't make this stuff up. So there's definitely some stability, you know, promise of a happy, you know, home life. You've built a new body of perception that is now taking you forward in your spiritual journey, in your romantic connections, in the possibility to attract the romantic connections that are equal to you, that balance you. You're attracting the energy that matches you, which you were always doing, you know, but now with an altered perception, a purified perception, you've integrated it and built your foundation. Your pillars are now in higher, you know, in higher wisdom and knowledge. Why is everything so good for Scorpio? Not that I'm complaining, y'all. Not that I'm complaining. It just seems as if, you know, the time that has been taken, maybe you've been single for some time, you know, last 12 months or so. Excuse me. And you've been able to heal a lot. You've been able to come into balance within self. You've built space, sacred space for yourself, safe space for yourself. I feel as if your focus was really turned inward, not just on the spirit self, but on your body, on your home, on your environment, like creating a place where you could really thrive from. And while you basked in that home energy, that space, you were able to adopt, receive. It was like you slowed down. You slowed down in life so that you could gain this other perspective. Some of you may be in January taking the time to slow down before moving forward, you know, to really stop, think, and then move forward. I don't get the feeling that it's a long break or a long stop, though, because the things that you've learned over the last year, 2 years, have really allowed you it's brought to you the idea that you're capable. So the hanged man turns himself upside down to gain a new perspective before jumping into a situation like the fool, right? The fool takes that leap of faith, but he's able to take that leap of faith because he took the time to learn what solitude had to teach him. Yeah. So in romance, that's a huge thing. It's really highly spiritual, romantic. You've been consulting and you've been learning these valuable lessons when it comes to romance. I do get the feeling though, also you could have someone coming into you, where you've kind of calmed yourself. You've given up on trying to affect the situation. You're not trying so hard anymore, and it's what brings forward movement. It what brings someone into you because you're not so anxiously pushing after it, right? Okay, what about spirituality? Death showing up. Yeah. Ten of Swords. Yep. Ace of Wands. I'm telling you, all of these insights that you've been receiving have shifted you out of this, anything. Some of you in your mind space was being, you were in a self-destructive pattern with your thoughts. Yes, there was outside influence, but I feel as if this was all your perception. It's renewed. There's faith in something that has been renewed, okay? And it's as if your excitement, your seeking of spirit. I mean, I feel like this was you seeking spirit more than you saw everything else in your environment. And it brings forth for you new opportunity, but also, like I said, you were inspired. So all of these thoughts that were plaguing you, all of these pains that were plaguing you, you were given the insight to turn the page and to now write a story inspired by, not based up on, those past experiences. Yeah, and victim mentality is dying, it's dead. You have a better balance and understanding of how you've contributed, how others have contributed. I feel like there's no blame, no darts being thrown. And it's giving you a new lease on life. I almost feel like you realize that you've been freed. You come into the realization this month that you have been freed. Or that your freedom is knocking at the door. What's being left behind? Okay, very simply, for some, there is definitely whatever the disruption or whatever the influence was that was painting your perception, you're definitely letting that go. Like, you held on to it for some time. You've been holding on to it. And I think, you, like I said, you don't want to take this with you anymore. You don't want this to go with you anymore. Very frankly, for some, if there was a connection or a relationship or a decision that was made, you got Lovers, Three of Cups, Four of Coins, so it definitely could be like a third party situation, or where you thought that you were going to find joy, celebration in a situation, you let go. You let go of that. May I have one more card for this? Yes. The wounded healer. So it's as if you finally just want to be able to fully heal. You want to be able to lay down that bundle of burdens that the Ten of Wands is. You know, you really you're ready to overcome whatever this situation was. This energy of you know, for some you're just healing from this. So your over attachment to what did happen in a situation or your environment, you're releasing your perceptions about it. You know, I feel like whatever feelings were lingering, if you were betrayed, then you're letting the feelings of betrayal go. You know, if love still lives there, then you're allowing that to live, you know. You just release the pain of what happened in the past, okay? I don't get a feeling of like walking away from something. It's like you're holding on, but you want to hold on to the things that brought peace and joy and laughter and playfulness in whatever this situation was. No longer are you just sticking to the perception that you were a victim of something again. So what's coming in? The Emperor, the Seven of Wands, and the Sun. Well, I feel as if something that you definitely were fighting for, something that you stood strong in, either this could be even a person. So you could have an Aries or a Leo coming in, willing to fight for you, defend you. You could also just be adopting the energy, you know, of optimism. So yeah, somewhere something that was once a disappointment could be coming back, and really fighting to be seen in a new light, even. Something stable though. Something stable, something you can depend on. I mean, the Three of Swords is here. The Three of Coins. Oh yeah. There's definitely either someone coming to you after some lessons of their own, some growth and development of their own. Could also be a project coming to you that's in the early stages, and you're being asked to take a leadership role in it. But I do get the feeling that it's something that was blocked. Something that was once blocked by whatever this old perception was. And Scorpio, if it's yet to be released, then in the month of January, you're being urged to let it fall away. Whatever attachment you had to that energy. You know, this doesn't mean that you have to give up on a person or give up on a project or a situation. It just means that whatever negative, low vibrational energies that you're still carrying regarding it, you're being urged to let it go, because it's definitely blocking something trying to come into you. Something that is going to make you happy, something that's going to make you feel stable, something that has improved, okay? Something that has improved. So what is the general outcome here for Scorpio? The Hermits, the Moon, and the Page of Wands. Yeah. There's shoot. Quite frankly, you know, you may have a hermit, a teacher, or you may be seen as a teacher. Someone may be seeking your insight, seeking help, asking for your help in addressing something that they have going on. And this proposition or offer is an opportunity to renew. You know, you could be helping this person deal with something that they have not always shared. Okay, you could also be receiving this help with something that you have typically kept under wraps. So whichever way this goes for you, either way, there's lots of 9 energy right here in the outcome. So I feel as if something that you wished for, right, is on its way back in, or on its way in, you know. Got Virgo and Cancer here. Cancer? Yeah. Pisces. I do get the feeling though that whatever is coming, or whatever this outcome is, it's something that that you may already know. You may already be getting hints, little seeds dropping in. And I also get the feeling that there is a secrecy element to this process, or what's taking place. Maybe it isn't being completely revealed to you because it's meant to be a surprise, or it's meant to be yeah, a surprise. It's meant to be unexpected. It's like it's meant to catch you off guard by the universe. It's like that's the universe's intention for it, to catch you off guard. Either way, with the 10 of Cups down here, I'm inclined to believe that whatever's coming your way is something that you've worked for, that you've had faith in, something that one was meant to you, you know, meant for you. I get the feeling meant for you. It'll bring you fulfillment. We got the 10 of Wands, or the 10 of Cups, the 10 of Swords, the 10 of Pentacles. And the only one we don't have is the 10 of Wands. And I kind of like that, because that means a painful situation is ending. You have monetary abundance flowing in. You have emotional abundance flowing in. And all because you've taken the time to learn the lessons, to shift your perspective, and allowed for other people to have the time to do the same. I also get the feeling that this is coming in, or you get this outcome because you do turn your back to something. You do turn away from something that was causing you some discord, or you were over attached to. This doesn't have to be the same person, doesn't have to be a renewal, but there was an attachment here that may have been preventing a lot of other things from taking place in your life. Whether that's intentional or not, we don't know. You know, whether someone was intentionally doing that or not, we just never know. So yes, I feel like in the spiritual, you're receiving the keys. You know, you're being handed the keys by the universe, by God. You're being shown the route to take. You're being shown that a situation is improving, that your life is improving, that things are inbound to you, beautiful things. And good, because Scorpio's been having a hard time, you know. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only Scorpio. I watch tarot videos a lot too, and it's as if you know, people always say that in the readings. They're like, man, Scorpio, you can't catch a break, or finally something for Scorpio. You know, it really is something that has been going on. There's been painful rebirth over and over and over. These painful shedding of belief, of burden, of perceptions, attachments that have been blocking. that have been preventing you from being the true Scorpio, meaning that from being transformative, from being transformed into who it is that you're meant to be. Let's close with Psalms 29:5. It's like a tree split down the middle. For some of you, you're going to be learning what caused a certain split, what caused dissension in a situation. For some of you, you're going to be, and it's going to be, some of you, it's going to be your own self, your own stuff. But for others, it may be an outside influence. Ooh, I like this. So Psalms 29:5, the voice of the Lord breaks cedars. The Lord shatters the cedars of Lebanon. Don't second guess yourself. The voice of your highest self is speaking. As always, that voice is clear, direct, firm, and gentle. If you succeed in distracting yourself from what you now know to be true, you'll only be buying time. Don't run from this gift of truth. Embrace it. Sometimes crystal clear information flashes before us or wells up in us, and we instinctively know what to do. Kabbalists refer to this knowing as Istakluta lafum sha'ata. It's the knowing. And I feel like that's what brings forth all of this. You know, we talked about here in your spiritual realm, there's this acceptance of these things that you know. Whether they were hurtful or not, you were able to receive these messages, this guidance, and move forward with renewed vitality. Yeah, the denial, some denial could definitely have been in this situation. Denial, I feel like just altered perceptions, you know, denying yourself the pleasure of being able to have what you feel you want to have. Whether that be with yourself, with others, in work, you know, it doesn't matter. Thank you so much, Scorpio, for watching. If this resonated with you, take some time to hit like, comment, subscribe, share the video with someone. If you have a Scorpio friend, send it to them. Otherwise, we'll see you next month for chapter 2.